this is one of the biggest peace givers there are. When I realized that, like, this was a rat race, like a spiritual rat race that I was doing to myself, of constantly trying to chase some idea of what it is to be spiritual or to be awakened or enlightened. When that got exhausted organically, how does it get exhausted organically? Go keep trying it and doing it and trying this practice and that practice and all that. And then you get to where you just burn out on it. You're like, wait a minute, what's the real goal here? You just sit with yourself. Remember the video I made? Just sit with yourself and let yourself figure out what's actually real. I was sitting there, I was like, what am I trying to do, man? Why am I trying to like chase this idea of what people think awakening is? Why? Because I want to like be peaceful. Because then I remembered when I was 12 and I had this spiritual experience. Some of you have read that in my autobiography book, and I've also shared it on some videos. That just blasted me out of the blue. There was no reason for it. I wasn't doing meditation. I wasn't, doing anything. It just hit me, bam. And so my mind secretly was chasing that experience again. Thinking like that's an awakened state. This is what I need to be in that state. This is what the enlightened people feel all the time. They feel that. I remember I was working with a guy, he had a near-death experience, and he was traveling around some of these other realms when he was out of his body and felt super peaceful. And then when he came back in the body, he kept chasing that experience, thinking that that's what enlightenment is. And then I realized, no, but these are just experiences. They're experiences. That moment I had, that it's longer than a moment, when I was 12, that was a spiritual experience. See, a lot of people, they're confusing experience with the awakening label. And then their mind desperately searches in their life, like, how can I want to, because the ego wants to feel like it's awake. So it'll comb through the history. Oh wait, I remember that time. I was like really compassionate and loving and peaceful. I'm awakened. Yep, it happened. Because the mind wants to attach some label to its existence, not knowing they're all just experiences. Any experience you have, life isn't static. That period I felt when I was 12, I felt peace more intense even than that, but none of it lasts. It can't. How can it last? It's an experience. And so then, when I brought things back down to practical level, there's a saying that says, if it's not practical, it's not spiritual. Things have to make sense. Don't get out there in mystic land. I'm here to demystify things. I don't intend to or set out to do that, but this is what flows. God's using me like that. When I realized, like, I just want to feel peaceful. I want to feel some balance inside. And I can use lifestyle habits and diet and my company and environment and spiritual, call it a practice if you want, but it's not like you're practicing. You're doing it because you like to do it. You like to listen to bhajans, or you like to sit quiet, or you like to, meditate. Okay, watch your breath. It feels good. Do breath work. It comes natural. Yoga. Not doing it as a practice. It's okay if you're doing it as a practice. It might later turn into like that's just what you do. Same with the semen retention. It's not a practice. You just see like, I feel good when I don't like lose my semen all the time. Okay, you want to call it a practice? Go ahead. But it's just things become organic. When things are organic, then you're organic. You're not chasing things anymore. What was I going to say though? Something about this. Anyway, so people, I see it. I see it in the comments. I hear it when people talk to me. I see it when they talk to others. Can you just like relax about it? Just stop trying so hard to catch something. You want to be at peace. Okay, that's enough. That sums it all up. That's an organic, natural inclination that God put in our being to be at peace. It's just usually we go about it in all the wrong ways. And even when the right ways, appear, like lifestyle habits. Okay, that's good. That gets the body balanced. We're living in a car. We need to take care of it. Makes sense. Same with if you drive an automobile, you change the oil and take it for a tune-up, and you do what needs to be done because you want it to drive properly. You don't want it to, you want to get to where you're going. You want to enjoy the experience in your car without breaking down. It's the same as the body. We're not the body, we're consciousness, but we're driving this car called the body, so you want to take care of it. Okay, so you figure out lifestyle habits, as I already mentioned, preserving your energy and good company, and write a list of things you do that give a higher vibration and take care of your body, and then write a list of things that don't. And then do the things on the list that does give you a higher vibration. It's simple as that. But some people, this is the point I wanted to make, they start, their mind gets excessive trying to like chase spirituality or peace. And that can bleed through even into things that are conducive and auspicious for your coming more into a peaceful sense of yourself. And here's how. So they start to get extreme, like with diet. I wrote it, it's in my True Health book, more about that, the dry fasting. That book's coming, it's coming. She's doing a really super good job with the editing and proofreading because it's a more technical book. And so it can't be as raw. That had to be refined a little bit, my raw nature that I can do in my videos, which is why I like videos, because I'm unrefined by nature. But for that book, she needed to kind of polish it a little better. It still has my voice, obviously, but so anyway, that's taken a little longer. But when I was dry fasting, I somehow had subconscious belief. I wasn't aware of it though. See, these things that keep us stuck, they hide. This is why I'm a proponent of sitting quiet with yourself and doing analysis and catching yourself out. Where are the thoughts that are keeping me stuck that I'm not aware of? You can get to the bottom of that if you sit with yourself. I had the idea if I dry fasted long enough and hard enough, I just would be awake. I would just boom. All the energy, the chakras would open, the kundalini would go up, because like, wow, right? You don't need food, you don't need water. Yeah, that must equate to like enlightenment. And then I realized I'm gonna end up killing myself. My nervous system couldn't take it. I have a sensitive nervous system by nature. So those of you who also have that, careful if you're doing excessive fasting or dry fasting or excessive anything. That's the thing. You learn. I learned that balance is key here. It's about balance. What's the title though? We're talking about we just want to feel peace, right? So I definitely realized that diet plays a big role. That's the gas I'm giving to my car. But I had to, at first when I was younger, I was just a fool. I was unconscious, ignorant when it came to diet, and I would just eat anything and put like whatever. That's not good, okay. Then I went to the other extreme. I'm gonna be super pure. I'm gonna just purify myself into enlightenment. That also didn't work. I don't know which one's worse. They're both bad for me, the consequences. So I learned that, living wisdom. Then I became more balanced. And then intuition can function. Yeah, I like to drink a lot of liquids, tonics, and fruit juices and smoothies in the morning and day because it's like high octane fuel, man. It burns easy and I feel light and feel good, but then later I need some more solid food. See, back in the day, I would just keep going. Liquids and fruits and maybe a salad like every day, that's it. I got burnt out. Nervous system got burnt out. So then I started, took 12 years, I started incorporating a cooked meal every day. And I felt better, I felt more grounded because I needed that earth element. Some of us have too much air and ether element because this is a game of balance. We got to balance our elements, our constitution. Those who are kind of lazy by nature or have more earth and water element, you can get away with eating more fruits and vegetables because your elemental structure supports that. You got to find your way. So don't be extreme though. This is what I was trying to point to. And the same with spirituality. I'm going to force myself to just meditate just all day. I'm going to fast, and I'm going to sit here 12 hours. I'm going to make myself sit here. That's being excessive and extreme. Again, it hurts the nervous system. And so then all that trial and error brought me to a place where, and then to make things worse, you hear and read all these things and watch these videos that accentuate that, because they're doing the same thing, because they're in those stages. Very few people break out of these stages. Hence, a lot of people need more than, this is why they talk about we need more than one lifetime. There's just so much stuff to get caught up in, But those who are watching these videos and who resonate, you're obviously there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to resonate with this. I was like, I just want to feel serene, man. Can I just do that? And I realized chasing spiritual concepts and judging myself and measuring myself and listening to what others say about what awakening is and what it isn't, I realized that was causing me brain damage and like eating my peace up. Like my higher self kicked in and said, look, man, forget about all that. Forget about all that. You have your own tailor-made path. I'm making another video on that. That's a separate video. Might make it after this one. You followed the dictates of your own inner sanction. This is what you do. It don't matter how it looks or what. It just doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what other people think. Like, that doesn't matter. You're not taking a position or stance when you say that. It's just realization. It just truly doesn't matter. How does it matter? There's very few people in your life whose opinions actually matter. There may be a few, or one, but God lets you know that. They're belong to your archetype. They speak your language. They can see something maybe we can't see, and so then they'll let you know. And then you can just feel inside. You're like, oh, I'm willing to look at that. You may not take the whole thing they said, but bits and pieces. But you got to make sure they're speaking your language. That's the thing. Because so many people misconstrue each other. They're coming from their mind and perception, which isn't aligned with how you see things. And so then they try to, this is why their wars get started. And there's so much strife in politics. You got all these different little worlds trying to show their way and communicate. This world's a joke, man. It's a trip how it even functions. I was telling my friend, how does this world even function? I mean, just how does it even work? Everything organized, you have the internet and the cell phone towers and electric department, water department, and people are able to live, and if things break, they can come fix it, and you can travel the world. They have the visas and the immigration, and they, work everything out. I mean, it's amazing that this world even functions. It's obviously grace is doing this. God's the real power behind everything. That's why I also don't worry about how dark the world looks at times. This world is always going to look dark at some point. There's no such thing. We're going to reach collectively the ultimate utopia, and then it's just going to be nice forever. No, this is not the plane for that to happen. The plane of existence. This is a plane where it's extreme duality, light and dark, and it's always going to be like that. You have new souls coming in all the time. A lot of them maybe from the animal kingdom, and they're just brand new, and you can't tell them anything. They need to act a fool for a while and chase sense pleasures and have no conscience about anything, and that's just how it is. So you do your time here. Oh, that's another video too. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'll do a couple more after this, because I got some things I gotta do next week, and I may not be able to make videos, so maybe today's the day. I might walk around. This is a new spot. I like this spot because no intruders. When there's no intruders, the flow can flow better, So in summary, break it down to the most simple, authentic level. You want to feel more serene and peaceful. How do you do that? The main two ingredients, if I'm being simple, lifestyle habits and a spiritual practice. These are the main two ingredients. You take care of yourself on practical human level with this vessel that you're traveling in, because the consciousness is intertwined in that, so that needs to be addressed. And then you take care of the spiritual level, which is you find some practice that's helping the consciousness disengage from being so identified with this form that is driving. It like turns on itself, and you have to find your way for that. Prayer and devotion and bhajans and meditation and yoga, whatever it takes to balance this these internal energies so they're not so loud, so they're not disturbing your mind. And then you can start, the consciousness can start to recognize itself, because it's not so disturbed by the agitations of the body and the emotions and all these distractions and intruders everywhere and all that. That's why you have to take some time and you have to just be with yourself. Once this becomes important for you, if you're at the stage where you're so externally tuned and driven, you have to let that stage play out. Like, we all have to go through that stage. That's cool. I'm talking more to those who are finished with that stage, or you're on the cusp of being finished with that stage. This is what we try to talk about in satsang also. We want to keep the focus on how to realize our true nature, not trying to solve problems in the world. We can get into that a little more in a private one-to-one, but on satsang we need to focus the main thing, how to recognize this spiritual power inside us that's actually taking care of us and that's doing everything. That's another video too. All right, I'm out. See you.